Joining us on the line today is one of our favorites around here. It's former Vikings linebacker Chad Greenway. Still weird, Chad, saying former Vikings linebacker. I expect to run into you in the hallways around here every now and then. You know, it's weird.
I know it. It goes so fast, right? So time goes so fast. So like the mentality of it's like I'm still there and haven't left is still kind of there for me even as well. And also it's nice just having played my whole career. The relationships you build up over the course of an 11-year career in one spot, are kind of, withstanding. So when I walk into the building, it sort of feels like you never left. So, love that about my career. First of all, now that I'm sitting the other side of it. So, it is weird to say former Viking linebacker.
You can follow Chad on Twitter at ChadGreenway52. I mention that right now, Chad, because I want folks, as they're listening to this, to multitask, go on their phones, and find you on Twitter and look at, as of this conversation, your last tweet, which made me LOL, as you sort of had a commentary on Anthony Barr agreeing to terms to return to the Minnesota Vikings. I laughed at what you put up, but I want you to talk about that and talk about your thoughts on Barr staying with the Purple.
Well, it's funny because when I got into my career, and as you mentioned, it should be everybody's goal to come in the NFL and obviously have success on the field and have financial success, but really more importantly, find a home that you just feel like you're a fit. And I was fortunate enough to get drafted there my first go around, and have to go become a free agent or do something different. I got to come to the Minnesota Vikings and build a relationship with this community, build a relationship with our organization, with Rick Spielman, our ownership. And it became pretty clear to me, like in year 6 and 7, when I was into my second deal, and I was like, I got to find a way to retire a Viking and just make this a priority of remaining loyal to an organization that has been loyal to me and my family. And what really solidified it for me was going through the process with my dad when he was real sick from 2012 to 2014. And the way that I was treated and my family was treated during those times of just tough times was amazing. Of course, led by Leslie Frazier at the time, and of course he's such a good human and just a great person, but really ownership in general. So like that feeling is just will always be with me that I'm a Viking for life, and just love everything about that. But the tweet today about Anthony is what's important to me is that Anthony, we found a way to get a guy to stay here when he probably could have made more money going somewhere else. Now I know the financial terms I don't think they're 100% disclosed yet of what the Jets were offering, and we may never know that, but it feels like we got him for maybe a little bit less than what New York was offering is kind of what the social media is saying. And just to know that I had spent some really good years with Anthony and played with him, and I feel like my perspective about the league kind of came across to him about what's important, what's valuable in that relationship with Coach Zimmer and Eric Kendricks and Adam Zimmer and our ownership. And I think that not always that grass is always greener mentality is always the right thing. Given you want to go out and you want to make money and have financial gain, but what really is going to be there at the end of the day when you're done with your career and you look back at it, the money is great to have, and obviously it sets you up for life and your family up potentially for generations, but what do you stand for and who are you? And I think that loyalty shows through, and I'm so proud that he made that decision. I'm so proud the Vikings showed him that they love him, they want him here. And, it's a guy that's been to, I think, a Pro Bowl every year he's been in the NFL. It's amazing what he's done. And I'm just so proud of Anthony from where he came when he came in the NFL. Sort of like my little brother that I never had. And I'm just so proud of him and the person he is and the stuff he's doing with his foundation. And I'm just so proud he's back with us.
Yeah, that's well stated, Chad. And I think you're sort of alluding to this, too, and I'll build off the point I think you were making is – this, they just went through his second contract. Like, that got done. He's back for his second contract. But when you're drafted by the team, get through that rookie deal, and then it comes to a second contract the way this one did, where there's sort of that homey feel, take care of you, we're all big. That sort of helps with your third and maybe fourth contract too, right?
No question. I mean, obviously the ability to play always has to be there, right? You always have to be able to bring value on the field and in the locker room and in the community and be well-rounded, and Anthony's proven to be that. And I think that was something that people had questions about him in that regard when we brought him in, is what's he going to be like? He's kind of a quiet guy, right? Kind of reserved, but now he's created a foundation, and he's given back to the community, and he's become a leader in the locker room, and not a vocal leader, but a guy who's going to be as solid as you can be, a guy who's going to be the one that's going to speak up if somebody's not kind of towing the line, and I love that about this thing that he's created for himself, and his natural ability was there and always will be there, but this is something that now Anthony can build off of this, hopefully play this deal out, hopefully get into a couple of other small deals, finish his career as a Viking, and be one of the best ever.
Yeah. And
he has that ability, and I'm proud of him for realizing that.
Yeah, sounds good. Hey, one last thing before we go. You've probably, as much as any player that I ever got to be around when you were with the team, you were a team guy. You weren't about stats. After the game, you weren't asking, the PR guys for a box score to see how many tackles you had. So I'm going to ask you to guess some of your stats. We'll see how familiar you are with yourself. I have 4 of them here.
Well,
okay.
I'm probably more selfish than you think. So I probably
we'll
know
see.
somebody, which is going to be sad.
Well, you might.
The one question I have is: are we talking coaches, film, which is all that matters? Are we talking?
We're talking media guide. Okay.
Oh, gross. Okay.
We're gonna start with one I think you could get: sacks, career sacks for Chad Greenway.
I think it's either 17 or 18.
It's 18. Okay.
There you go.
This is one that even the most selfless person of all time would remember. Touchdowns.
Okay. Oh, for sure, 2.
Yes, 2. I believe the final one was
3.
the one at TCF Bank Stadium.
I like to count the preseason one against the Jets I had in 07. But you can't count preseason one, so I only have 2.
Okay. Here's the toughest one, I think. Tackles. Do you know your total tackles? This is the last one.
I would say media guide. I'm like something like 1,100.
Well,
okay. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say you give your buddy Tom West a call because the media guide's above that. It's 1334 in the media guide.
Okay, so what Tom did then is Tom took my coach's stats, which is idyllic. So you can see the difference because 1335 you said?
1334. So the deal now is, though, Chad, is Studwell's going to be like T. West. What's up with this, man? What's the favorable treatment with Chad?
Well, let me tell you something. His number is so big on the tackle charts that it's not even fair to compare.
Yeah.
Think about.
Yeah, well,
it's like 1,900 something or ridiculous.
Yeah, you guys were one and the same though. Tackling machines, also both good guys. You you personify what it means to be Vikings, so you have that in common. I don't think either one of you have anything to be insecure about there. But that game went about like how I expected it to go, to be honest with you. I think you sandbagged us. I think you knew every single number, but you pretended not to know, so you could continue the perception
there might be some truth to that.
Right? Okay. See, I know you a little bit better than you might think. I'm not afraid to call you out either. All right. Thanks for your time. I'm sure you've got somewhere to go. A basketball game, school pickup, school drop-off. You have something to do, I'm sure, related to your family. So go do it. Say hi to Jenny and the kids. And I'm sure we'll see you around the hallways here sometime.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
You bet. See you, Chad.